Well, definitely need to figure out this issue with my iPad as a screen dropping off every 5 minutes. Apart from that, looks like we're ready to go. I am tiny. There we go. That, and hello. What am I using for the bass patch? Yeah, we can dive straight into that one sec. Quite possibly that. Like, not a synth, sample. However, I don't think it had any sub with it. Made it, yeah, use submarine. So, naked, it would have. Like this weird vocal warbled thing. We're using submarine. If you're not familiar with that, adds low end harmonics essentially. So I can add an extra octave below. Yeah, to roll that off for a moment. I think apart from the drums, this is all sample based at the moment. Good break, dent drums. Yep. See, that sounds okay. That. Guitar. Yeah, a little guitar. Sweet. Yeah, it's all sample based for now. Ta. Jumanji, hola. Good to see you, dude. Like I say, it's literally all sampled. I probably want to add some of my own stuff in, but bassline wise, that does the job. Might play around up a bit more. Take it here where the main breaks in. We can distort that a lot. Where's the main sample from? That's a good question, because I've got like every subscription there is. Let's see if we can find it. RE90 resample orange light. I mean, it's not the best name, is it? So underscore not 90. See like what folder's it in. That one. Find yeah, so resampled cinematic soul packs splice. So it's from Splice and it's in resampled cinematic soul. Thank God I've got everything organized up. Yeah, what I want to try doing here is making a bit more of a Reese. I could layer it up, but equally, I think I might just grab in between the EQ, but after submarine. And if we go distortion, hopefully I'll put Saturn in there now. Yeah. See what's going on with it here. Although if you can't hear the music on my voice at any point, let me know, because my screen thermometer freezes all the time. So what I'm thinking of doing is really distorting it like here. So, try and get more of like a Reese vibe out of it. Take that there, that tiny little slice, just starting to be a bit nasty. Think shakers? Yeah, maybe. Let's have a look. Without that extra distortion. With it, just giving more of that Reese type feel, even though it's not really there. Take Submarine away. This is like all this low end. I think we're going to have to compress it a bit because it's wobbling all over the place, but yeah, shaker wise, I got this in here. Maybe a bit quiet for the minute. Like drum wise, I've got one of my own breaks chopped. Doing that. Got another break chopped. That's just filler in between. And a shaker on top of those. The shaker could probably come up a little bit. But again, everything's basically flat at the minute. I've not started mixing yet. Guitar sounds are nice, but I want to give them their own little bit of space real quick. Do we have? Literally got nothing on them, they're naked. So let's go bass and let's give them their own reverb because I might reuse it on something else later. Reverb wise, I like Native Instruments RCs. Mainly because I haven't bought Relab's Lexicon. And we can just on like a all with echoes, 100% wet. I want the tops to carry on a little bit longer in there. Shift that. Shift that way. All right, so without the reverb. To this bit. Lippy synth line coming along, which is just too loud to take another dB. So we need something here to help that transfer, because I like the little piano section, it's a good flip. But we need something in here to tell us it's coming, and Can't use the riser because when I'm on camera, I can't have my eye lock in because life. So what can we do? We can make a white noise riser, I suppose. See if that works. Instrument, let's grab Alchemy. And advanced. First, on the saw, we don't want you, but we do want the white noise. Starting point, and I think I'll probably start it from about that's on the if for some reason you're wrong. That's noise, lovely. Give ourselves one long note just to trigger some white noise. Then what we can do, open up the automation lane, grab all the bits we want in Alchemy with this switched latch. Do it. Thanks, man. I think creating your own sweeps and risers can be beneficial. Low cut, actually, do you know what? Take latch off real quick. Low cut wise, I don't need the low end energy in there anywhere around the kick, so we'll cut that off straight away. Pop. Latch back on, and we'll choose that high cut. Actually, no, we won't. We'll use the filter. We can have more fun with that. Let's do 24 dB rich, and we're going to do the cut off, the resonance, and the drive. So hopefully, we do that, and start drawing in there. Because they started drawing in, I can now drop them down, and I've got all three ready to automate. Isn't that just a winner? Make sure we turn it off latch, or anything we change goes Pete Tong. So, right here, cut off first. Start that down nice and low. Put in something like that. Alright. Here, start to bring it in a little bit sooner. That. Got like a bed for it to sit on. Make that a lot more fun towards the end by pumping up the resonance and then quickly bringing it off. Got more of that classic sound, and then let's just literally drive it as we go. See how that works. Cool, that's kind of getting where we want to be. We can still use Alchemy now, just to give it a little bit of a tail off. So in its effects, switch you on, we literally just throw the acoustic reverb on it with a wet mix of about 30. Alright, and then from there it's basically play around with the cutoff and how long you want it to sit in the mix. You can also just do really blatant. I prefer to do like a bit of a curve, get a bed to sit on, then kind of ramp it up at the last moment. Maybe a bit extreme, but playing around with it. So you get it right. Get what you're after. It's too loud, but we're not going to stress about that right now because we're not at a mixing stage. We just want the vibe to be there overall. Now the other thing I want to do is probably a bit of a reverse ride and then give this ride top line to sit in with that piano vibe. And how are we going to do it? I might play it in, I might be lazy and use drummer. For now, we want a ride sample. So yeah, and put in ride and look at the 10,000 different ride samples I've got. That might be quite nice reversed. Stretch it out a touch as well. What's everyone up to this morning? Anyone else working on music as well? If so, what are you working on? Feel the gain of that. About 9 dB. So we just want it there. Sit under that sweep. Like that. Right, we're going to try the lazy method for getting some rides over this bit. If that doesn't work, I will find something and play it in. So we can go drummer, we can go songwriter. Give me a bunch of stuff I don't want, but we can very quickly flip it and mix it to exactly what we do want. Do that, do that, do that, that, and we'll have a ride line. Don't want to fill. Copy that and change the pattern, hopefully. Not okay. Cool. How does that work? Is it's like a little section transition on top of that piano. Right, so very briefly, I just massively up the compression to up the gain of the rides because it's playing really quietly, but it needs to be louder and it sounds nice working that way. And then 4K for some reason sounded horrible, and the nice shine right up here helped lift. So lift that up and notch out the 4K that didn't sound great, and we don't need or want any of that low end. This it becomes that, which just sat a little bit better with I think the other thing we can have is maybe a bit of swing with it. Grab this. Won't affect that one, but this one will swing. That's on 8th, 16th. Give a bit more of a there. So that's going to be kind of rigid, and then the next 8 swing and feel a little bit more fluid. Building. I know it's a super lazy way to do it, but it works. So duplicate that again so it changes that feel, and just see how that rolls out. So here, I'm going to make use of that ride again, copy that pattern, but we are going to convert it to MIDI. Doesn't completely ignore me. Done it. Fine, usually goes green. If we then do that and then that, it will half time it for us nice and quickly, so we can go. And we will just take the velocity, kind of bring it down over time. Almost like it delays and fades away. Just carries the rhythm and like a similar sound right the way through. So we just got. What else we can do with that is use a bit of automation. Take the EQ, high cut frequency, curve that down, that sort of territory, gently like that. then we got that completely flipped vibe, but we need to build into that a little bit more. I'm tempted to even double the length of this. Really mess around with that piano sample. We've got about an hour. I reckon we can do that and have a real mess around with that piano sample. Make it so it's a longer breakdown. This is more impactful when it comes back. Section. And that this still remains listenable. What can we do with you is the question. First things first, get rid of that stop there instead. Alright, we're going to do this without effects. We're going to do old school sampling. I'm going to chop bits of this up, reuse it. This here, for example, take just that little chop, potentially reverse it. Can we bounce in it? Table would probably cause flex times on, so bounce in place. Yeah. Okay, you're going to bounce the entire region because your logic, but probably still find your sample. Okay, sure. But we can now that little bit there. One. We can take other tiny little bits and just chop them up in place. That potentially make it delay volume over and over. I think H3 gain -6 gain -9 x1 of him -12. Now we've got that here, I reckon, instead. Give them all tiny little fades in. That off. Then on. Okay. Probably bring this back in. Cut the last bit off just here. That up a little bit. Down. Similar thing. That. And we'll make use of our automation. But go the other way. Start down here. Rise back up. So now let's see how our breakdown feels. Yeah, that's getting there. This right here, actually like the quick ride. We need ourselves another ride. Let's see, do I have any rides? Yeah, there's one. Yeah. Something more like that. We'll just grab that one for time being. Need something with a longer tail. I don't just want to use the same riser each time, so I'm going to bring that nice and tight and then stretch it out a touch like that. Gain down a silly amount like 12. Leaky, absolute pleasure to have you in here, bud. Have a great day. Make sure I release this one as well. Yeah, you know my habit of sitting on most of my music. Do you know what? Just here, I want like something organic, like no, not that. Maybe. However, like that there, probably a on a reverb and delay. By the way, good habit. Notice I'm always dropping the gain of like loud samples. Just makes mixing so much easier later. Yeah, okay. That's sort of what I'm after. Down even further, probably like minus 18. Why did you go back to the start of the track? Okay. Now I think we've got a delay set up so it can go into that. Strangs. The reverb. Okay. But needs to come down even further. Now we're going to use that's nice. Not quite what I was after, but we're getting there. Yeah, I'm afraid you're about to listen to a bunch of breath samples. That's more like it. I don't want all the shit with it. Sample. Yeah, more like that. Same channel. There. Right, I like that. Loads in level though, because this section's quite AF. So drop it up there and see. Okay, that's nice. Between the two, tried to be dead quiet. What are you doing? Convert to MIDI. Kind of cool. That really muted crash. Yeah, I'm liking where it's getting to. I'm going to reuse this long breath here in this build up. See if I can get away with reversing it and really stretching it out like to a degree. Flip that there. I can kind of end a bit before this ramps up. What I want is to get like some texture out of it. That might not work, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, kind of. Move its level back. Then absolutely not. What it needs delay on the end of it. Now that's already got its own send. I could just automate a delay, having wasted channels. So let's get rid of you. Go delay, tape delay, back to dry, pump the wet up. eighths. 8 with a slight deviation. Tiny bit of feedback. Let's have a little bit of flutter. And works. Wet off all other times essentially. Go back to the start and just boop, so it's off. Right at this moment here, wet and tail it off by that point there. Either I'm crazy or it's going to work. There's no in between. Okay, so we can get away with potentially more wet, and we're going to add ourselves another line in, and we're going to use feedback and have some fun with the feedback. If you've watched any of my much longer production tutorials, you can have fun nudging the feedback in and out and in and out. Off. Okay, we need to make sure it's gone by that point. Very low. Hold it. Alright, and we just need something to signal that this new section's starting, and honestly, for the way everything's set up, crash is probably the way to go. Do you know what? They're probably too big. Just want like a little bit of ear candy. I might two of them together. That maybe. So everything in the middle still got a space, but just kind of ear candy out to the side. And take about 9 dB off. We just want a signal that they're there. Yeah. Wondering if we can mess around with the timing a little bit as well. Maybe actually bring it so everything lands there. Goes off into that. That on. That away. Let's listen to it all in context, shall we? Alright, so this is now going on for too long. We need to control that right into the region flip thing, something that should have it so it basically ends when that crash comes in. We might be able to bring it back later. Let's see how it works. So if we don't bring the feedback to 0 and we let the feedback roll out, we can use the wet to control it and bring it back later. So see how this rolls out. So we'll let these first like 4 roll through. We'll bring the wet back up. And if we keep this sitting quite high for that time, it should still be there, especially if we leave it like 8. This bit of a curve might just bring it in as like a little bit of texture after those first couple of bars. Yeah, way too much. Way too much. So down into like 80 region. Don't want it to come in that quickly. Bring it up as a little. Almost as quick. I hope you can hear what I'm waffling on about, but all these little details are the bits I love. I'm just going to have a quick listen through for a minute, because I just need a bit of context on it, and then I've got about half an hour, so if anyone's got any quizzes, because chat's been dead quiet, I'll help out with anything in that regard in answering some questions. If not, we're all good. Have a quick listen through for 2 ticks. to semi-answer your question just then, like how do I know? Just here, listening to this transition, it's missing something, I know it. Right? It just switches. So when I listen to that and go, right, something's missing there, I need to do something about it. What I add or how I get from A to B varies. In this case, I'm thinking we can just have a little bit of a ear candy, just as like a signal that we're about to change. So and now that transition makes a bit more sense. But could we do with something else to signal that we've made that move? And yeah, maybe we could then look at reusing this vocal that we had down here, this little breath. If we keep this rolling out for ages and ages and ages, just as, where do we need it to be? To be about here. Okay, we can make use of this feedback. All times not being touched here. If we get at like 100, we could potentially make like another little sweep here. Use that vocal and bring it in. Roll that feedback again afterwards because it might just get insane. But I have to trigger it right from the start to hear that, so that's going to take a while. Yeah, not even so much like you need better ears. It's a creativity thing. Like, you hear something that's not quite right and you've got to think, like, how am I going to put that so it works as a track? And like, by no means am I perfect at it. Yeah, I make a living with music, but the amount of stuff that I scrap outweighs what I finish. Get in there with that kind of that little transition into the previous section that we basically returning back to almost where we started in the track, but we do need something else with it. I'm thinking I might add a pad. I might be wrong, but we can have a look and try and experiment. I have tracks that I think Say My Name's probably the best example of one of my tracks that started out completely different to where it ended up. It just took so many turns on the way to get there. And the other one, like my biggest flop of a track, which is Trouble in the Hood, which has 3 vocalists on it, was a nightmare. I still love the track, but like the amount of development it went through and then completely flopped, but is what it is. It's just that trial and error, and if you've got something in your head you're trying to create, what are you trying to create for? So here I can hear now what needs to be here, and very simply I'm going to go back and take these 2 different ride loops that we made earlier in the stream, and I reckon they are literally going to be the sort of virtue signaling that we switch sections. like here, there's too much going on, but I know that later on I'm going to play around with the mix and probably like push the piano off to one side, push the synth off to the other, and make space for way too much to work, because I want that to then drop into nothingness for the end. But like listening to it, there's too much going on at the minute. There's a plan. There is a plan. I just wanted to kind of drop off into the abyss, which is sort of the idea of the track being the longest wait. So this little section here, do I go and make a pad just for this little section? Maybe. It needs something different in there. Got a little bit of time. Let's have a crack at it. Let's switch the computer on. Let's switch the keyboard on if I don't have the USBs hooked up, but we can do it. Backing up at the same time as streaming, which is probably the worst idea ever, but at least there's a backup now. So let's see what we can do. We're in alchemy. Go complete control. I work with most of the time. So if there's anyone on here that knows why my iPad continuously locks, even though auto lock is off when I'm streaming, tell me, because I use it as my other monitor and it's oh, you're welcome, dude. Oh, most welcome. What I'm here for, make a bit of music, have a chat with you guys, try and throw some ideas. What do we think for a pad? What key is the main sample in? Minor, so C sharp, right? C sharp or DB? Oh, I can actually go through all this without accidentally showing stuff that wasn't supposed to be shown. Analog Dreams, maybe? Ashlight? Oh, I've got an idea. That's maybe a bit too intense. Where are you? Maybe. Give it a bash. Didn't like that last key, but forgive my timing on a stream because I'm working with a delay, as you can see. My best, but impossibly hard. You miss it, right? That's sort of what I was talking about before. There's an idea. I didn't know if it would work. Play it back. Something can sit in there. I was thinking a pad. Now we take what I've added away, we kind of miss it. Finessing in there a bit more, but you know, you miss it once it's gone. It was probably something worth adding. That's here. I'm now tempted to use it earlier on in the song here. Actually use that same here. Quieter in this part of the track. Touch that up a little bit. We can make use of it here, then not touch it again until right at the end here. It gives it a bit of a payoff. Something I'm not liking about it, so if I go to this ledge here, it's probably that there. What do we reckon? Not a particularly nice frequency, is it? I don't want to decimate it all the time though, so this, give it some control. But here, we don't want the low lows, going with all our bass. Let's just have a sweep through. Like, here's a bit rough. However, the air frequency above it is actually super nice. So we'd maybe take that down a bit and do curve a bit like that. Pretty cut out within the plugin itself. hear that like 500 hertz resonance now. And when we switch this on, much nicer. Alright, so I've only got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to have another listen through again, maybe jot down any ideas for when I can come back to it. If you've got any questions, throw it in the chat. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you very much for joining. Thanks to everyone who joined. Really great stream today. I think I will continue this track next Wednesday. So hopefully I will see you guys then. Take care everyone and have an awesome day.